Hi everyone, and welcome to our Player Packs vlog. We have some amazing news today as we welcome Rhyse Gonsalves as our brand new performance nutritionist. Rhyse, welcome to the team. Delighted to have you. So I guess let's get straight into it, Rhyse. What is a performance nutritionist?
So, performance nutritionist basically aim is to give the best nutritional support and education to the athletes to allow them to build their knowledge and optimize their performance.
Excellent. And I have so many questions, right? Which is, the very first thing is when we talk about optimizing performance, I think we break it down into lots of different things that make up or influence someone's performance, right? And I wanted to start with hydration. So very conveniently, obviously our partners, Wow Hydrate. Electrolytes, is it a complete myth? Should I just be having water? Should I be having, electrolytes? Should I be having Red Bull like Jamie Vardy apparently does? What should I be doing to give myself the best hydration possible?
So yeah, hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, electrolytes, absolutely. Responsible for most actions that happen in the body in terms of muscle movement. So we talk about hydration, electrolytes both go hand in hand. Keeping water in the body and electrolytes for muscle function, absolutely vital, which are both lost through sweat. We need to keep replacing that.
And in terms of being able to measure that myself, so as a former sports science student, I was told that urine tests, you can absolutely do that. You should be waking up the middle of the night, going to the toilet. How do I do that? How do I know what is the right amount for me, my body to take?
So it's a nice, quick, easy way, actually. Like urine tests is, if you haven't got the technology to kind of test it yourselves in terms of the science behind it, just looking at the color of it is actually a really good way to test yourself. If it's nice and pale, then we're happy. It's a pale yellow, yeah, we're good. If you start seeing it going darker to the darker browns more so, then that means we need to get some water on board, start hydrating.
Nice. Okay. Obviously this is not the right color. So we've fueled our body. Should I be doing that? When should I be doing that? Like how often? Because I know from past experience, trying to down a load of water right before I train or play is not a great thing. And timing it within my working day or whatever. Our audience, a lot of them are non-league footballers, grassroots footballers that have 9-to-5 jobs. How do you plan for hydrating properly?
Again, yeah, hit the nail on the head there. So down in the water is not the effective way. If we're down too quick, it's not going into the bloodstream, it's not getting used, it's just going straight back out basically. So what I'd like to say to everyone is just little and often, is just keep sipping throughout the day. I always find keeping like a water bottle nearby, just so you've got one. Just keep sipping it throughout the day is the best key, rather than trying to get it all down you at once.
Which is what I just did. I'm not sure the viewers saw that. Just had a little swig there, just went all down me, but it's fine. So, okay. So in terms of getting hydration in and fundamentally that's putting fluids through my body and washing, the nutrients through my body. Until I went, and we were talking about this off camera, I went on a bit of a weight loss journey last year, and I never really understood the importance of eating before doing any physical activity until that point. And I used to be somebody that would just go and play on an empty stomach. And I'm sure that there are lots of people that do the same because you feel like you're lighter, you feel a bit quicker. What's your advice for how we fuel our body and eat, and what sort of things should we be doing?
Yeah, big one, really big one. So when we look at, like, let's say pre-match, we often say the ideal, the optimum is 3 hours, 4 hours before a game. That's your pre-match meal. We should be looking at a lot of carbs. We normally say between 1 to 4 grams of carbs per kilo of body weight. So big round number, 100 kilograms, let's say you weigh, you should be aiming to get 100 to 400 grams of carbs in that pre-match meal.
Yeah.
Again, should be slow digesting carbs. So we're looking at like your whole meal foods, your oats, stuff like that is going to be broken down slowly by the body. We're not looking to use it immediately. So yeah, it's absolutely important. Through this, we're basically filling our body's glycogen stores, which is our main source of fuel, especially in football, where it's so stop-start, sprints, high intensity. There's a lot going on. So we need to make sure those stores are at their very max when we start the game, because they'll come down very quickly throughout the game. So by the time we finish, people are normally running on empty. So definitely key to make sure we're hitting that target, mainly that and protein, high protein levels before a game, two together. And that's just going to help prevent muscle loss and help retain that muscle strength coming out of the game, where we're doing so much impact and running and physical activity.
So let's try and clear something up here, because I think people look at fuel and energy sometimes negatively and over positively, right? And what I mean by that is, so I've got my lovely little pack of Haribo Tank Plastics here. We've added sports beans to the range not so long ago, and one of our biggest sellers undoubtedly at playerpacks.co.uk is energy gels. Like, we love them. I especially love them, and these ones by our friends at Vital Sports, the strawberry flavors, are incredible. Is the Haribo bad because they're sugary sweets, or is the energy gel really good for me, or do they do the same thing? Help. Help.
Oh, it's great, because you do see it get used a lot, as you see. So they're all used in a similar way, to be honest. So they all provide fast digesting energy, fast digesting carbs. They're ready to be used by the body within minutes. So why they're a great tool to have. In terms of the differences, it's normally to do with like body preference. So if you look at the gels compared to eating Haribos, something that's just a bit harder, or even like Jaffa cakes, I know is used a lot. So if you do something like that, it's something that we have to chew, we have to digest before it gets into our system. Whereas the gels, it's a liquid, and our body responds a lot better to liquids. So we know that if you've got someone who's a bit sensitive, which people can do, whether it's stress, anxiety due to performance, or just the knowledge to handle food well, that close to performing. So a gel goes down a treat for most of these people, and it causes very little to no gastrointestinal issues with anyone, so no stomach issues, which is why it's a great option to have. Often used pre-match, during a match. They're the two key times where we need to, again, like I go back to keep that glycogen storage high, where I say it's dipping so much in a match, we need to keep that raised and keep that up.
And is in the same way that we can sort of measure hydration by, simple urine tests or whatever, is energy really down to just literally watching what you eat and how you're feeling on the day? Or should we be thinking like, ticking this box about what I should have at this certain time, etc.? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think absolutely, how you feel is crucial. If you're going into a game in the completely wrong mindset, you feel fatigued, you feel tired, it's kind of like an indicator that, okay, maybe my nutrition's not right. That's a really good sign. Same ways, if you're hitting half through the match and or the second half, let's say, we know that that's a crucial time where people start coming down a bit, fatigue kicks in, lack of concentration, they can't sprint as much. It happens all the time. If you start hitting that point without anything at half time, you maybe start thinking, oh, maybe I should be getting something in at half time because I'm noticing it in my game now. And so I think it's really important to listen to your body, but it's also, I think, also building up that knowledge, as I'm saying here, and building a little bit of a plan. So your steps on a game day, how you feel, how you prepare, and just figure out what works for you.
So in terms of what works for us getting to that point, we regularly hear, I've got a Harry Potter on my desk now. We regularly hear, the Premier League players and managers talking about how demanding their games are and their schedules are at the minute. And actually, from our friends in the non-league football world, we sort of hear the same thing. And therefore, recovery has probably been one of the biggest factors in an athlete's schedule more than ever, right? Especially with the level of performance of athletes increasing as well. That being said, I have watched games where you're looking at a changing room camera after a game and there's Domino's pizza everywhere. What is that about at that level? Because we all have this, impression that, well, they're probably going to go and have salads after the game with a little bit of chicken or whatever. From your experience, does it matter what you eat after? What sort of stuff should we be doing?
No, yeah, really good question, because I know it's on a lot of people's minds. So the key to it is, so post-match, when we think about how we should be recovering, it's very much, you look at like the Jaffa Cakes, you look at your energy gels. These are great when as soon as you step off that pitch, because we just need that little boost. It's like a little spike to kind of get things back on the right level. We're starting to refill. We need that for recovery. And then normally you'll find within an hour or so of that post-match meal comes in. And this is why we see, like, say, like the pizza boxes on these cameras in the changing rooms, because if we were to say, oh, what's the perfect post-match meal? Don't get me wrong, we'd probably be going, yes, like lean chicken, good carbs, good quality protein, good fats. And that's like the perfect world. We've got to be realistic as well. At the same time, is if you're in an away game, not the biggest budget, you've got to keep all the players there before they get on the coach. You've got to fuel them up before heading home. It's easy as resource. If you think about pizza, high carb, high protein, fats, it's got everything you need. If you think about it, it's purely due to like, oh, we haven't got a chef with us, we haven't got a catering service, that's fine. Pizza, we have to look at prioritizing, and the priority here is energy. We have to get all the guys back, all the players to fuel up before heading off after the match. And that's where it becomes the main thing. So yeah, I wouldn't say, like, you would never say, oh, it's the optimum thing, but at the same time, why not, when it's such a great source of all these different nutrients?
And let's talk about sauce. The sauce is brilliant. So we're super lucky, obviously, again, that from a protein perspective and getting it into your body, we've got our Wow Hydrate protein drinks. Summer fruit's a bit of a favorite, but we also have protein powder, right? So both on our site, different flavors in both. Protein powder versus protein in the drink, any difference whatsoever? Should we be focusing on powder? Like, what's it about? Does it all do the same thing? Is it purely a preference thing? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, to be honest, it's normally stuff like that. It's kind of down to normally like taste. So when we're looking at post-match and stuff like that, recovery, we're looking at good quality whey protein. Normally that's the main protein we look out for. And this is basically, in terms of shakes, as long as it's got good quality whey, we see it's got whey protein, isolate, absolutely happy with that. If it's pre-made, you need to add water or whatever you want, milk, absolutely fine. Yeah, you're going to get the good amount of protein. You'll see on it, they're both similar in protein levels. The quality is all there. In terms of like use, yeah, absolutely. Straight after the game, we've used our bodies for everything. They have taken a beating for over 90 minutes plus. So if we think about it, we've got the best way to think about it, as I say, is the way our muscles work is you've got someone tearing down a wall and someone building up a wall. And this is constantly happening. So after a match, you've got to think that wall's being torn down. There's not enough builders to build it back up.
Okay.
When you get that protein in, that's how we prevent muscle loss and maintain that level of strength, endurance, everything going forward, and power ready for the next session, which could be a day away or 2 days away.
So we've now discussed our three categories, I guess, as we sort of sell them, to our customers on site, because that's what they look for. But, fundamentally, it's normally pre, during, post-match, right? So to wrap this up, I've got a game on Saturday. What should I be doing? When should I be doing it? And what should I be using?
Excellent. Yeah. So pre-game, always start with the day before. So a lot of people think, oh, it's a few hours before the game, this is what matters. If we go the day before, that's what we can utilize to really make sure you're at your top level. So the whole day before, we're looking at fueling up. So lots of carbs. So as I said earlier, it's 1 to 4 grams per kilo of body weight for pre-match. We're looking at 6 to 8 grams over the course of the day. So there's a big number there to hit. So fuel up in that day before, lots of protein. So we're talking quite high, normally like 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilo of proteins. You're getting lots in. We're putting ourselves in more builders than people breaking it down. We know we're staying at that higher point. Great analogy to use.
Love it. I was going to use that everywhere now.
So that's the whole point of our day before. Fuel up. The morning of the game, we've actually lost a lot of those stores already. So we need to just basically top that back up. But we've put ourselves in a great position to do so. So again, going back to that pre-match meal, like I said, fueling up again, great protein, little to no fat. It takes a while for our body to break down. And what we do, if we're going 3 hours into a game and that fat's not broken down, we're going to have issues. We have stomach issues filling on the pitch, and no one's going to be comfortable with that, basically. Brilliant. And then within an hour before a game, this is where we want to utilize those strategies, such as like the energy gels, the Haribo, something that can get into our bloodstream quick within half an hour of kickoff, and we're ready to go. That's fresh and ready to use for that first whistle, which is great. And then looking at those, again, energy gels, Haribos, the beans, everything you've got like that at half time is a great tool, because we know that between 60 and 90 minutes is when performance just drops in terms of physical output. There's less running, there's this high intensity running, less sprints. So if you fuel yourself up with a little bit of something at half time, you're giving yourself that little boost to go again. So you can start a bit higher and drop gradually rather than coming all the way down before the end of the game. And then absolutely massively at the end is recovery. Something quick digesting again at the end of the game, just to kind of give you a little perk up, because you're normally a bit fatigued, tired. And then a good solid meal, which is great in protein, fat, carbs, and you think you're going to enjoy it and really get the most out of. And the whole day afterwards, just again, imagine you're fueling up, you're recovering, you're getting those carbs and you're getting that protein, you're getting that fat, and it's all about just basically building up, filling that tank ready to go again for the next day.
Rhyse, thank you so much. Incredible advice for everyone at home watching. And for those that are watching, all of what Rhyse has taken, you can take straight into your game. Visit us at playerpacks.co.uk, take a look through our stuff. Please reach out to us into our DMs if you need any advice from myself or Rhyse. That's what he's there for. And thank you for watching.